Surveillance video captured this wild moment when a jewelry store owner on a group of thieves in Madera near Fresno. The masked men broke into the store only to be met by the owner, who was ready to protect his business.
So as California marches down the progressive path of destruction, the law-abiding are taking notice. As their businesses, homes, and cars are on borrowed time, while criminals zero in on them again and again. Even though 2 months ago, the governor deployed crime-fighting teams which were supposed to end this madness. But how are you supposed to stop the bad guys when your entire sanctuary state harbors and protects them?
Get your hands up! I can't believe something like that happened in Union City. That is very scary.
Her quick thinking, possibly stopping what police there called an attempted home invasion. The next day, 70 miles away, a chase that Modesto police say led to the arrest of the same suspects.
Take a look at this brazen smash and grab. Police say more than 20 masked robbers stormed Side Jewelers after ramming the front door with a car, as you see there. They were in and out in just 60 seconds.
Surveillance video shows someone breaking into this truck and stealing it in a matter of seconds. But it's how they pulled it off that has people in Anaheim Hills talking.
Preliminary investigation shows that they kind of were in the area for a little while, kind of casing the business. This was definitely meticulous.
We need more protection. This is something that it could happen to anyone, and I don't feel safe.
Now, other store owners wondering if they will be next.
Get your hands up!
So apparently California has some of the worst inflation in America. This place is totally unaffordable. Look at this. And what nobody wants to admit is that inflation is directly tied to the amount of crime you allow the bad guys to suck out of the people in your state who want to do the right thing. And every single day, the law-abiding have their lives made more expensive by crime, even if it doesn't happen in their driveway. But wait a second, don't progressives tell us most crime is victimless? Take, for example, shoplifting. These stores could get an insurance policy which covers their losses and be made whole again, which means there's no reason to jail non-violent thieves because when they steal, nobody loses, right? Wrong. Insurance does not cover the entire total loss of a store, and after these places get cleaned out, these stores could lose their insurance coverage, or if they want to maintain it, the rates could go up so high it's just unaffordable. Which means when customers enter stores in high crime areas, they pay unaffordable, inflated prices because of it. And every item on the shelf is priced to include the cost of theft these stores are reeling from. And the same goes with insurance policies. You want to park your car in a high crime area? You're gonna pay for it. Which brings us to the real reason decriminalization is gonna be the end of California. The law-abiding can't subsidize crime forever. Their lives are just getting more and more expensive, and that's causing people to leave. And after enough law-abiding people leave, the only folks left are gonna be the criminals. Because remember, this isn't just a state that slaps hardened thugs with notoriously light sentences for behavior that would end with someone wearing a jumpsuit for a very long time elsewhere. It's also a sanctuary which won't turn over international fugitives to the federal government and decides to release them too. Which means if you need a home base to plan and commit crime, California is very appealing to criminals.
Police say there were 2 more burglaries this morning in Studio City. They found 26-year-old Juan Montez with burglary tools, the bike, and the same backpack seen on security video from at least 20 other business break-ins within the last month.
That's wild. 20 burglaries, and this guy's out on the streets. He's free. No consequences. How do you survive when criminals are allowed to do that? On top of that, breaking into over 20 businesses, that makes someone an expert criminal, a hardened thug. And this person has become this way because the law is powerless to stop them. There are no consequences, unfortunately, because jail just isn't something they're worried about. When are they gonna learn their lesson? Burglary number 21, burglary number 22. This doesn't make any sense. So in this clip, you've got criminal instigators who rip open the doors to this 7-Eleven, and then you got a whole bunch of people who flood in and start stealing stuff, and you've likely got the ringleaders of this operation, and then you've got people that are tagging along, learning the ways of the criminal underworld, all experiencing together the lack of a police presence and the lack of any consequence for this awful behavior. And this is how you get repeat robbers who just don't stop. But what about the idea that insurance means these businesses have nothing to worry about? Well, look at this next clip and tell me if these business owners are worried. Right, so why would a business owner board up their store if they've got insurance and if they're not worried about crime? Why would they do that? Because they are worried about it, because insurance doesn't cover everything. Because if these places get cleaned out, some of them may never come back. That's why. And progressive criminal sympathizers who don't understand how the real world works just can't believe why this is happening. They think criminals should be free to roam streets because what they do is victimless. Nobody suffers. But that's not true. And it's this lax attitude towards crime that recently drove one store owner over the edge. You know, I was just backing up some of the clips used to make this video, and then it hit me. We trust big tech companies with our entire digital lives, our files, our photos, our videos. They can see everything we've got. They can scan it. They can use it to train AI and sell us stuff. And that's why I was so glad to find a sponsor for this video that cares about its customers and won't farm them out, and that sponsor is Proton Drive. Now, Proton is a privacy company first. They do not make money selling ads. They don't access or sell your data, period. Their cloud storage, Proton Drive, is protected with end-to-end encryption. That means your files and photos are locked, and only you've got the key to open them. Not even the folks that run this service can see what you put in it. I really like the real-time collaboration on Proton Docs. I can write and edit scripts and titles with my team, knowing that our ideas are safe and private, and I can see the changes that they're making. Plus, you can securely share huge files with anyone, just using a link and even password protected if you want. But the best part is you can get started right now using Proton Drive for free. That's right. And by signing up, you're not only supporting my channel, but you get to join the over 100 million people who are taking back their privacy. Right here's the link you can follow to sign up for free. It will also be in the description of this video. Huge shout out to Proton for sponsoring this video and building a better internet.
But first, catch a look at this. Surveillance video captured this wild moment in Madera near Fresno. This happened on Thursday when the masked man broke into the store only to be met by the owner who was ready to protect his business. Those thieves ran away with about $170,000 in jewelry. Police were able to recover the getaway car, but not the thieves yet.
This is crazy. So this store, it's 5:30 in the afternoon, according to the security footage, November 13th. Look, they got bars on the windows. There's a security camera. They've likely got insurance. They're doing everything right, but the thieves still took this place for over 6 figures and got away. No arrests. And you know what? These criminals, they're using the same, move in, move out tactics that are being used at 7-Elevens. It's like thieves are honing their game on a candy store and then taking their skills to a jewelry store. And this is only happening because these individuals never get stopped. No one's stopping them at the candy store. No one's stopping them at the gas station. Nobody's stopping them in your driveway. And some of these folks, unfortunately, decide not to go out and to get real jobs, but to go bigger and better in their minds, which just allows them to devastate the very communities decriminalization and sanctuary laws claim they make better.
Preliminary investigation shows that they kind of were in the area for a little while, we would say in our field, casing the business. This was definitely meticulous.
Wow, so go figure. Dangerous criminals who fear nothing are staking out businesses, and they just stay on the streets robbing them. These are not people who are going to pursue any life other than a life of crime, because it is a life of crime with no consequence. And if they don't rob this store, their friends are going to go rob the store. So they're actually under pressure from the rest of the criminal element in California to hit these places as fast as they can. It's terrible. You've got criminals competing with each other to see who can prey on the law-abiding first. And look at this, how unaffordability is surging in places that do not punish criminals. Inflation is the result of real-world policies that drive up costs, and the Golden State policies are toxic. Of the 5 worst regions, 3 are in California. But if you want to force up insurance rates for businesses, don't stop criminals. If you want to force up insurance rates for people to insure their vehicles, don't stop the robbers. And if you want to raise prices at every single business that somebody needs to shop at, whether it's the grocery store or the jewelry store, let those places get hit so often that when a store owner puts a case of tomatoes on the shelf, they have to say, gee, how many of these are going to get stolen? Okay, add the loss factor into the price of these and let the law-abiding pay for it.
Says people are using new technology to steal high-end cars and trucks. In this case, they stole a truck with help from a tablet made for locksmiths. Watch again.
So you see him walk up to the car. First thing he does, he actually checks the handle. Checks the handle first, sees the car's locked. So then he heads over to the back window and he uses a window punch to break it. Once it happens, because there's tint on the window stays intact and he's able to peel it off and climb in. And then he's being handed a locksmith tool, a computer device that plugs into the computer system in the car, so he can quickly reprogram it and turn the car on so he can leave with that truck.
Yeah, I don't think it's the fault of the owner for installing window tint that peeled off easily. I think these guys were getting into that car one way or another. And the fact that they can just walk up and do this and reprogram a vehicle and just drive it away and nobody gets caught is maddening. On top of that, these cars that get stolen out of people's driveways, these are the cars that are used in these crazy crash and grab robberies. These are getaway cars that robbers use to commit other crimes. And if you won't stop auto theft, you're going to have massive unaffordability everywhere, because those are the cars people are driving around when they do everything else they shouldn't be doing.
Terrifying surveillance video showing the moments police in Northern California say a girl spots armed suspects outside her home who suddenly run after her.
Where did they get the car?
Police say the girl got inside the house and told her family to call for help. The suspects running away.
I can't believe something like that happened in Union City.
That's wild.
That is very scary.
Her quick thinking possibly stopping what police there called an attempted home invasion.
Yeah. Oh, police.
The next day, 70 miles
the same
away,
car.
All right.
Pit maneuver.
Mobilized.
A chase that Modesto police say led to the arrest of the same suspects.
They're wearing the same outfits.
Officers rushing in to stop another possible attempted home invasion.
So these guys are driving around in cars with license plates on camera, which have to be stolen, or else why would they do that? Looking for homes to break into in the middle of the day, and there aren't. What does this do to people's homeowners insurance? How does this help people sell their home at some point in the future? It doesn't. Having rampant crime like this makes life totally unlivable every single way you can slice it. And if you're going to have a place that protects and harbors criminals, tells them that if criminals come here and they're not even supposed to be in America, that those people will never get turned over to ICE, you're going to have massive crime problems. You're going to have an emboldened population of crooks that thinks they can do whatever they want. And we don't even know where these criminals are from. All we know is that they feared nothing. So they're driving around in the middle of the day dressed in all black. This is absolutely, it's like something out of a movie, of like a dystopian future that shouldn't even exist in this country, because we've decided that jails are better off empty with nobody inside of them, and criminals deserve unlimited second chances. This is what we're looking at here. Unlimited second chances.
4 suspects, 3 teens ages 14 to 17, and a 22-year-old taken into custody.
Wow. That's crazy.
I mean, it's a blue ribbon for Modesto PD. This was a tragedy, looking for an address, and Modesto PD put an end to it.
Yeah, they did, but what did they tell us? They told us 3 of these people were teenagers. Look at this. According to Google, teens who commit violent crime in California are typically handled in the juvenile justice system, which focuses on rehabilitation through counseling. Education and treatment consequences in the juvenile system range from probation and community service to confinement in juvenile hall or youth correction facilities. Well, we're going to have to see what happens, because a lot of these cases, they might result in a level of consequence that does not change the minds of these criminals and fails to redirect them, to divert them off the path of crime. And that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at a system that doesn't tell a criminal when it's time to stop until they have done something that is so terrible that then the law finally kicks in. But we're decriminalizing everything small. And now what? People say, you know what, I'm not set with robbing 7-Eleven. I want to go for a jewelry store. Or, you know what? I think I can get a lot of money if I rob a house. And they think that that is a good idea because no one has ever told them that they can't do it. Sure, they know that it's wrong deep down. They have a conscience which tries to convict them, but since there's no consequence, there's nothing there to back that up. And then we got the guy that broke into 20 businesses who's apparently an adult. Like, at what point does that individual learn their lesson? They're causing tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in destruction, breaking windows, destroying properties, stealing what's ever inside, riding around on a bike with a backpack. And that's just allowed. Like, that person doesn't lose their freedom. And that person's not some teenager that's going through a different justice system. This is somebody who faces an adult justice system. At what point are they going to say, gee, I'm kind of sick of robbing these businesses and, you know, coming up with less than I could get if I did something worse? We have to change that mindset. And in states that allow crime, I don't see how that's going to change. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.